G'day, mates. TTP Field Manual time featuring Joshy and his best friend Jonny. Hello, Jonny.
Oh, I made it. I'm here.
Take two.
Turns out, when traveling, internet not good when someone decides to break the main line in the ocean to your area.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, someone dragged the internet lines for Townsville.
Don't accept work in Townsville, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, mate. One more week. Just one more. Please,
If you wanna,
please no, don't
if you
send
want
me
to
back.
go in hobby with Jonny, you can go find him in Townsville this week.
Oh, mate.
We did try and record. That went swimmingly. We got about a minute and a half in, and I think I threw the perspective to you, and there was just radio silence. I'm like, all right, no, it's not going to work.
Sure ain't. But we're here.
We're here. Take two.
Now for the almighty question that we start every podcast with, right?
How is your hobby? I don't know. Who should actually start? You or me?
Now, let's hear what you've done.
I'm doing my best vandalism impersonation and just exclusively rattle can spraying every bit of plastic I can get my hands on.
Hey, that's still getting paint on models, so I'll take it.
Yeah, about a week ago now, I must say. Time moves fast when you're having fun. Went to me mate's house, one of our other game group friendos, where we actually store the majority of our terrain because they have the best amount of space for gaming, you know. Yeah, got a bunch of rattle cans from good old Bunnings warehouse, and just went to town in the middle of the night, just psh, 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 for maybe an hour and a half. All our terrain at least has an undercoat now, and then a few days later, after lending your airbrush, decided I should probably prime my models that I have yet to do so with, and then I just primed maybe 3,000 points of models across 4 or even 5 different factions.
Nice.
That's it.
Good to see you getting some paint on some models at last.
Yeah, but I need to go and buy a Tamiya airbrush thinner specifically because I'm going to do pre-shading with a good Tamiya paint. The last time I did that, though, I may or may not have clogged up our friend's dirt cheap airbrush to the point where we went and got another one.
Oh, damn.
It was a bit cluggy.
Yeah, make sure you get a thinner.
Yeah. Well, we did. It just wasn't quite the right chemical compound, I suppose, to really thin out that particular paint.
Fair.
Anyway, how's your hobby?
Well, I did do a little bit of painting last weekend. Putting some more touches on Magnus, trying to get it ready for our local game store's little painting competition thing that they're doing, which is meant to be a model out of your armies on parade, which I'm choosing to try and get Magnus finished by the end of the month, while also working away. I've got a friend who is 3D printing me some bits for the base, so I can make this guy very impressive. Will it make him more playable? No, it'll make him less playable because he will be tall AF.
Modeling for disadvantage, Jonny.
But he will look glorious on the table.
Sure will.
So that's my plan, and what I have been doing. A little bit of painting, mostly just getting armor trim onto Magnus slowly.
Your favorite thing, trim.
It's honestly Magnus isn't so bad. Because he's a bit bigger, the trim's bigger, and there's not quite as much of it.
Yeah, big canvas. Surprisingly easier.
Yeah. Good model. Well, Joshy, what are we going to talk about today?
Before we get into it, mate, book club, Angel Exterminatus, Horus Heresy novel, read it, and also social media, TTP Field Manual, just Instagram. All right, big topic of today, my friend, World Eaters Codex review. Are we 2 months late? Probably.
But hey, this is going to be our opinion. It just took us a little longer to get there. We're going to run through them all slowly but surely. But people seem to like the Emperor's Children ones. There's no reason for us to not run through all the cult factions while they're coming out and stick with what's going on.
Hey, listen. I feel you over there listening. World Eaters came out so long ago, boys. We live in a day-to-day world. Yesterday's news, who cares? We want the here and the now. But you haven't heard our opinions, so sit down and buckle up.
You say so long ago, but without having purchased the Codex ourselves, the rules have only gone up online this month.
How dare we not get
actually
advanced
that
copies?
far behind, considering we don't get advanced copies, you know?
I know. I'm more alluding to the fact that like 3 or 4 codexes have come out since they've came out, and this particular community is just more now, you know?
Hold on. One came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And one has come out since then. One is still waiting to be released, and the other one is announced.
You do have a good point. I'm just used to all these leaks. Reframing the timeline.
Yeah. Just because you've been looking at leaks for the past 2 months. The Codex, we're still doing very well in terms of actual Codex releases, because it's this, Death Guard, and Thousand Suns, with Chaos Knights being just around the corner.
You forgot one.
Did I?
The Wolves.
Space Wolves.
The Wolves. Did you end up listening to my solo episode on the Space Wolves yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm just asking you for the fun of it.
You just keep asking me, and it's like you know the answer.
I'm just asking.
Why you gotta
for
keep
the fun of
throwing
it.
me under that bus?
I'm just being a little turd, I know.
But yes, we're going to talk about World Eaters today.
Army pitch me, Johnny. Who are they and how do they play? What's their shtick?
How do you feel about being the stabbiest of stabby with upgraded shooting?
Are they stabby or are they slashy?
A bit of column A, bit of column B. The World Eaters are a primarily melee-focused army. In their index form, they were hyper-aggressive, very fast, and like to get into fights on turn 1. In their Codex form, they have dialed that back a little bit in favor of some much better staging, which makes them a very good staging melee army that can just jump out of nowhere on turn 3 or 4, or turn 2 or 3, sorry, and just overwhelm you with the biggest swords.
It's a good variation on the whole sort of melee playstyle. You've got the Orc still for that overwhelming turn 1 potential aggression with the War. You got the Emperor's Children to sort of duck and weave, pierce you there, pierce you here. And now you've got the whole World Eaters will slash your throat when you're not quite expecting it. It's cool.
Which honestly feels much closer to lore World Eaters 30k era, Heresy era. They were very smart and tactical, whereas a lot of the memes and, content that people have created in more recent histories is more we're just the big blood frenzy bullies.
Memes aren't always accurate, friends.
No, exactly.
You definitely pitched them. Quick hobby review. How do you find the models in the range? And let's talk firstly about the actual World Eaters models, because I know what you're going to say.
I think their models are good. I don't have any problems with their models. I think they all look like Khorne berserkers. They all look very much the picture. Having their very unique helmet and unique melee weapons really helps them show up and shine on the table. They can look very good with very little work, which honestly, that's what I say about a lot of the Chaos factions with their trim and stuff like this. You kind of have everything on the model that you can do paint by numbers and get something that's pretty good on a table. I think their model range is missing some very key components.
Like what?
Half their range.
I think they need one dedicated World Eaters Chaos Lord, not a Lord on the Juggernaut, not the Master of Executions, we'll talk about him, but an actual World Eaters non-epic hero Lord. Because I feel like a couple of these attachments we'll get into today, and even the Crusade stuff, really suffers by not having them.
Yeah, for sure. On top of that, I think something for the Lord to actually join up. They need a mounted unit, I think, to go with Lord on Juggernaut, more so than they have done. Getting access to Blood Crushers was almost there, except it's for one detachment.
So what do we got? We got epic heroes. We got Big Angron. We've got Khorne, who was around, I think, before the World Eaters range, and still, I think, holds up, even if he's a tiny bit small. We got Lord Invocatus.
That's it for named characters.
Yeah, Lord Invocatus can be alt build as the Lord on Juggernaut. We've got the normal Berserkers for infantry. We got their Possessed 8-bound, which are a dual kit, which is just different weapons.
Which is just anti-tank or anti-infantry.
Yep. We got Jackals as a cultist. We've got
Goremongers as an increased cultist.
We got the Goremongers. We got a Possessed Lord, sort of. Just came out. I would push the Lord of Skulls Demon Engine towards World Eaters for the sheer fact that it's very, very Khorne.
It's very Khorne. But outside of that, it's just CSM stuff.
Good idea or not a good idea?
Would have been a good idea, poorly executed.
Yeah. Khorne Demons?
Would have been a good idea, poorly executed.
I have a very interesting observation to say to you right now about the Khorne Demons.
Go on.
At least at time of recording, both Bloodletters and Scarbrand are labeled sold out online.
Interesting.
We did have a recent announcement that for Age of Sigmar, the Blades of Khorne are going to get their Fantasy Codex soon enough. It could be some sort of big reboxing of the various units. But considering there are 2 of the 5 World Eaters Khorne Demon options, it's very odd to have them be sold out online right now.
Well, what if I also told you, as I have just loaded up the World Eaters, well, at least for AU, Bloodletters say they're in stock for me.
Oh.
But Fleshhounds, Bloodthirster, Blood Crushers, and Scarbrand are all out of stock.
Depending on the day you look, eh?
It really comes down to the day you look. We have Bloodletters and nothing else for their demons in stock at the moment.
Crazy. Crazy world. And I think Hellbrute was out of stock last I checked as well. Ugh.
The Hellbrute is one of those models that shows up and then disappears. It'll be in stock for 2 days. To the point where our friend, the World Eaters player, has used Contemptor Dreadnoughts to create his own Hellbrutes because getting one was impossible.
How much is a Hellbrute? 120?
In Australian, 90.
90. I saw someone sort of mention something along the lines of when GW does a print, they're sort of going off of a $30,000 to $40,000 dollar investment for each of the sprues they print. If we were using Australian dollars, that's roughly 300 to 400 Hellbrutes per printing. It's actually not that much.
It's really not, and that's why we get this issue of something will come into stock and then get bought out very quickly. And it's not scalpers, it's the people who have them wishlisted and are I can finally get my Hellbrute, I better get 2.
Yeah, and you can play them in other Chaos Forces too.
Yeah, the Hellbrute is in most of them?
Yeah.
I don't know if Death Guard can have them, but it might only be... They can?
I'm pretty sure they can.
Because I know Emperor's Children don't get a Hellbrute.
What do they bloody get? Things you can't really get anymore, but you could play if you're in the kitchen casual. You got a couple of planes, once upon a time from the old Imperial Armors, the old Forge World days. You got the Hellblade / Hell Talon kit, which I think they actually look kind of fun, like a demonic Hoth speeder from Star Wars.
Yep.
And then if you want to go to the Legends of Heresy, all that sort of Horus Heresy era Legends data sheets, you got all the older Khorne-focused demon engines, the Blood Slaughterer, the Khitan, and the infamous Brass Scorpion. You could run them. I don't think they're actually worth the points. Maybe the Blood Slaughterer, but not the other two.
I would like to see Khitan come back.
It's got a really good option, within the design space to have a World Eater specific knight, considering people are seeing these big Titanic units. They're cool. That's the one for that army, that's the one for this army.
Yeah. Let everyone have their Titanic unit,
Anything you want to say about the models before I briefly mention Combat Patrol?
I just want to say they kind of stick to a very similar scheme. But that scheme is really well portrayed. Even the new Goremongers feel very aggressive looking. There's lots of sharp edges, lots of skulls and bones, and World Eaters is a very thematic looking army on the table.
Do you like the Goremongers bionic legs?
Yeah, they're cool, right?
Do you know why? Like lore-wise, they have that.
Oh, not at all. I haven't looked into it at all.
Look at the picture of the new Goremongers.
Yeah.
Do you see bloodletters at all as a silhouette?
Not really.
Apparently, the lore focus for Goremongers is that they want to be closer resembling the aesthetic of a bloodletter.
I guess the leader's helmet kind of looks bloodletter-ish.
Yeah, just thought that would be an interesting little tidbit why they all seem to have bionic legs.
I just assumed that was because they need to go fast.
I mean, it does equal going fast. But yeah, they are cool. Combat Patrol. I have a little bit of info for you. Based on Australian metrics and at full price, the previous Combat Patrol, if I'm not mistaken, had a Lord Juggernaut, which could be Lord Invocatus, 20 Berserkers, and
Correct.
Jackals. 20 Berserkers would have been pretty metal when you could run them as units of 5, but we'll talk about it. What they were points-wise was 515 as of Codex, or 530 if you went Lord Invocatus, for about $425 full price, if you bought them all separately.
Yeah.
The new one has a Demon Prince kit, Master of Execution, squad of 10 Berserkers, and Jackals. That is a points value of 485, or 505 if you take the more expensive Demon Prince option, for a total cost 396. Not so different, actually, but still a little smaller than the previous one. I think this is one of the better examples of a new Combat Patrol. What do you think?
I actually agree with it's a better example of the new Combat Patrols. I actually don't mind this Combat Patrol. The old one was very Khorne focused. It was a lot of Berserkers, which when you run them in squads of 5, you could have a lot of squads running around in that one box. The Lord Juggernaut is a little weird in it, because while he can lead Zerkers, it wasn't really a good option.
Nowadays,
he kind of felt a little out of place. Nowadays, he's a much better option to lead them.
If you had both boxes, it's a pretty good start to your force. That's like 1k-ish.
If this was pre-Codex, I think this would be a very good Combat Patrol, but the Master of Execution's losing fights first is a little sad.
He is considerably cheaper now, though.
Yeah, but you can definitely run this Combat Patrol, but you will only have 3 units on the table for your 500-point-ish army.
You'd probably end up with 3 previously, though.
Previously, you would have 4, because you could split the Zerkers.
Yeah, previously, yeah.
Whereas now, those 10 Zerkers are 1 unit, probably being led by the Master, your Jackals, and a Demon Prince.
Yeah, I think both boxes are pretty close to each other. It's really good to see. I'm not a huge Demon Prince fan, though.
I actually think it's an interesting idea, because obviously Demon Princes haven't been sold much, and they've probably got a lot of stock, which is why they've decided to do this. But as you will see in like the future cult videos, they kind of did similar things with the Thousand Sons as well.
Similar?
We also have a Demon Prince.
It's just Photoshop changing the red to blue, mate.
It basically is.
But
I'm not necessarily mad about that.
No. I like Demon Princes, don't get me wrong. I just don't like that in a smaller army such as this one, you're kind of like locked towards it. And even in Emperor's Children, like the meta list is 3 of them. I mean, I'd rather more Emperor's Children than Demon Princes, but anyway.
The only issue I potentially have, and it's an issue that has come up with a lot of the new Combat Patrols, is not a lot of the current Combat Patrols will be able to deal with a Demon Prince very easily.
What do you mean? I got all these Attilan Rough Riders in my Guard Combat Patrol for it.
To the point where we started Crusade at like 500 points, and I ran a Demon Prince and had to take him out because it was oppressive.
It was Freaky Friday.
Like, it's fairly insane at that point limit to have a 2-up save with a 4-up invuln and like a 12-inch movement on a character that hits on 2s. Like, it's kind of stupid.
Good in 2K, but Combat Patrol is never going to be focused around balance. I'm dying on this hill.
obviously they will have nerfed him a little bit and removed his abilities because combat patrol. But if you're picking up your combat patrol to start your army and you decide to do slow roll or you're doing like 1,000 point limit, that's a pretty big deal on the table.
Yeah, it's a good combat patrol.
It's a good combat patrol, but I don't know if it'd be fun to play against for that reason.
No. And you got to take into perspective, what would your army look like at the intended size of a Warhammer 40k game? And 500 points just ain't it, Chief.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is oppressive. These demon princes are oppressive.
They have a codex now.
Yeah, shall we get into it?
Yes.
Army rule, Blessing of Khorne, or Khorne's Yahtzee.
This has had some changes, but not a lot.
No, not a lot.
They removed some of the hyper-aggression in favor of aggression.
Yep. No advance and charge, and no feel no pain 6-up.
Yeah. Instead, they have re-rolling charges and a bigger consolidation.
And you can only take 2. I don't know if that was how it was last time.
That was always a thing. Yep.
Okay, it's
good. You can
good.
always only pick 2.
But that sustained lethal is crazy.
With the changes to Angron as well.
Poor guy.
That does also change the way you think about your blessings if you're running Angron as well.
Would you, though? Would you take Angron now?
I mean, I don't play this army, but that's someone else's decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool-looking dude, alright? Yeah, so the idea is you roll 8 d6s, and you use them to form your Yahtzee combinations to get a couple of buffs for the term. The key thing is they are very melee-focused.
Oh, yeah.
You have reroll charges, double consolidation and pile in. You have fight on death on a 4-up. You have melee weapons have sustained hits. Melee weapons have lethal hits. Or devastating wounds in melee on infantry.
I still think that sustained lethal is insane.
Being able to have 2 of these and being able to stack them is pretty cool. And the devastating wounds on infantry can be very good. I think their detachment rule, their army rule is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not exciting, but it's fine.
It is.
I think a lot of people are going to overlook consolidate pile in 6. Not everyone quite clicks with movement phase in this game, but 6-inch consolidate pile in, when you look at how big you can get berserker bricks, that's scary.
It allows you to wipe a unit and get on a point fairly easily. Again, it's all about that better staging,
Yeah, they removed the plus 2-inch movement blessing and have just sort of baked it into most of the stat sheets, which I think's good. Do you agree it's good?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you like the rapid fire on everything?
That was an interesting change to datasheet. They kind of took the extra movement that you could get and they baked it into some of the sheets, but then they were like, what is the identity of World Eaters in terms of a keyword that they stick on their weapons? Because most of the armies kind of nowadays have like an identity defined keyword. You get devastating wounds on the Slanesh demons.
Mm-hmm.
You get extra toughness on Nurgle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And lethal hits, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And they got rapid fire? Question mark?
Really bad ballistic skill. Basically a 50-50 chance if your shots actually hit. But the weight of dice is going to allow you to sort of spike like crazy if you're going a bit lucky that day.
Which kind of makes sense because a lot of them use pistols, which means that like when you are right up in your opponent's face or in melee, like it's still getting you to go close. So it kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
But it's just really interesting that they took the biggest melee focus of the Chaos armies and gave them a shooting keyword.
I think it's fun. I think it's going to encourage some fringe tactics.
Oh, yeah. It allows them to do something when the opponent doesn't rush into them. It allows you to sit on the objective and still actually accomplish something. It might not be much, but it's something.
Yeah, but I think of a World Eater berserker charging in. I don't imagine them just like firing one measly little bolt. I imagine them just ad nauseum, bang, 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 slash, slash, slash. It makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Moving into the detachments that you can choose from.
Just scrolling past all my stat sheet notes. Yep.
Oh, if you want to talk about some stat sheets, we can talk about some stat sheets. It's probably a better way to know what we're talking about before we go into the detachments.
Yeah, sort of see what the flavors of units are and then how the detachments color them in further. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to get Slaughterbound out of the way?
The new guy on the block.
New kid? Yep.
The apothecary for this army.
The berserker surgeon. Here he is.
Obviously, they wanted to focus 8-bound, being the, like, elite infantry of this army. So they made a guy that leads them. His model is okay at best.
I agree.
I don't know how else to realistically describe it other than that.
I put disappointingly okay, question mark.
He kind of just looks like another 8-bound.
Yeah, sure does.
But he does have the bringing bodyguards back, so he can bring your dudes back if you don't eliminate their whole unit, but it is only one. And he has that kind of typical Lord thing where you can, like, buff yourself for one fight phase.
Yeah.
Which does make him scary at
one time.
9 attacks with devastating wounds, hitting on 2s, and wounding Space Marines on 2s.
Oh, yeah.
With 2 AP. Like, he's pretty insane, all things considered. And I really like that they baked in if he's leading another possessed unit, he gets Deep Strike and Scout so he can go along with them without giving him that when he's on his own.
I've meshed my 8-bound nodes into Slaughterbound. Did you want to say anything about the 8-bounds before I go?
No, go for it. Let's see what you say first.
Cool. I think the Slaughterbound's actually, decently quite tough. He's fine on his own, but I think you need to really put him in a maximum squad of 8-bound to get, like, a good return on investment for his ability.
Yeah.
His melee is fine. There are enhancements in the detachments to make him much scarier, but I don't think the actual 8-bound are, like, too compelling when comparing the options of this codex. Like, they will do good. They're not maybe as specifically scary as they were in their index rule set. Like, the 8-bound are still fine, but they're a little more tricky, a little more finesse. And I think a bit of the frustration people are going to have is that, like, the Exalted 8-bounds are your strong ones, and their weaponry got, like, rather nerfed. Like, they used to have, like, a twin-linked re-rolling the wound roll profile, and they just don't have that. They have a good anti-vehicle, anti-monster ability, which is fine, but if they had, like, maybe dev wounds, they would be, like, real scary. You could make them more expensive, perhaps. And then you have, like, an aura on the generic 8-bound, the lesser of the two options for 8-bound. And I don't know, I think they could have had maybe another tweak. They could have potentially made the Exalteds a bit more lethal in their melee, and maybe the generic 8-bound could have had something a bit more going on with their, like, buffing of the units around them. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do about 8-bounds or what to think of them. They're just okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just okay. Which I think is the overarching premise of this codex, is everything's kind of just okay. Which, internally, things are pretty well balanced.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, the 8-bound are pretty cool models. I actually do like their models.
Someone has to.
Yeah, right. They're cool. They're like weird, slightly bulkier. I don't know why they decided that their arms were going to be bare and they're all just kind of wearing half a tank top, but they show off what they do, which is they run in and they stab something.
I think they should have been bigger. Bigger physically.
I think they should have been a little more unique in terms of, like, what you can build them with, similar to the Possessed kit. And I think if you wanted to pick up the Possessed kit and a squad of 8-bound, and then just, like, kit bash the hell out of it and go from having 3 dudes to having 8 dudes with 2 boxes.
8 8-bounds?
Yeah, right. Imagine if you could run him in an 8 stack.
Missed opportunity.
8-bound. Or even a 7, so you can give them the Slaughterbound, and then that's your 8-bound.
Ooh.
But no, they come in a 3 or a 6.
Rough.
Or, you pick up your 8-bound box, and you pick up your Possessed, and then you can build your 6 8-bound and a Slaughterbound out of those kits, and just bash them together to get all the cool extra bits like wings and stuff that you get out of the Possessed kit. And no offense, but the same arm as the Slaughterbound basically is in the Possessed kit.
Haha, look at that. Interesting design choice from the big team when you just gave a fantastic workaround to something that's probably more exciting.
Yeah, and then you can get your like couple of really cool bits that are very corny from your 8-bound kit to cornify your Possessed.
We talked a bit about the 8-bounds. Do we want to talk about the other new kids on the block, the Goremongers?
The Goremongers, I actually think they're a pretty cool little kit, and they do fill a gap that the World Eaters didn't really have. But outside of that, I don't really care for them. It's nice to have an infiltrating unit.
Well, they're not just infiltrating, they reactive move, so you can just keep them for doing actions, which
Yeah.
a lot of World Eater stuff you don't really want to waste a berserker, mob doing a sabotage or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I mean, like, they're fine. They fill a gap that they didn't really have in the Codex, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would end up normally probably running some Goremongers and some Cultists.
Yep, that's the general consensus on list building this army.
Yeah, and probably a fairly even split, depending on what you can afford points-wise. Like, you're still probably only investing the same amount of points into Cultists in general, just some of them are a bit more expensive now.
Yeah, Goremongers plus Jackals is 150 points, I'm pretty sure. Which,
yeah.
You got one doing a backfield sticky, another doing mid-board actions. It's good, it's fine.
And maybe at most 2 Goremongers and 1 Cultist. So you can have a couple of dudes running around in the mid-board and your 1 unit back on your home objective normally.
Yeah. Cool. What to say about Angry Ron?
Angron, eh?
Angry Ron. What to say about Angry Ron?
This guy got hurt bad.
Yeah. I just put confusingly limited in offensive output. That's my note.
There was this meme comparison going around between the melee weapon profiles of poor Angry Ron and the melee profiles of new Magnus, who has 2 extra strength on his attacks than Angron.
Ooh.
Which feels really weird.
Numbers are balanced when you add keywords.
Oh, for sure. I get it. Yeah. But it was just like this really funny meme that was going around for a while.
Magnus OP. Always was.
But he did get a pretty serious couple of nerfs. You now don't get to, if you decide to bring him back, he comes back with less wounds, and you don't get any other blessings instead of still getting 1, which is a pretty big change to the way you can get back Angron, which is kind of his whole deal, because even in Index, he wasn't the strongest, but he was inevitable,
He's far less scary now because of it.
Yeah, they just kind of hurt the boy. His wrathful presence is okay.
Yeah.
Like, being able to reroll your blessings, like, I feel like in the games that we've played against World Eaters, they kind of always hit the numbers they want anyway. At least one of them. Like, rerolling your blessings isn't really a big deal when you're losing out on potential other buffs for your army. If opponents fall back is very specific.
If they survive.
Yeah, like, if they've survived long enough to be within 6 inches of Angron and are trying to fall back, all you get out of it is, they don't get to fall back on a fail.
Not just slaughtered where they stand.
So in 90% of cases, you're probably just chosen driven by Ultimate Rage.
Yeah.
Which, again, is very situational, because all it does is prevent you from having modifiers to your move, advance, and charge rolls. And then also your weapon skill in melee.
Yeah, is interesting. I think the new presences are technically good, but not as good as they used to be. You used to have like a +1 movement aura.
Very situational.
Yeah, they used to have a reroll hit aura. He himself doesn't have a feel no pain, which is interesting considering Angron's life is feeling the pain. You'd think he'd be a bit more used to it by now.
Well, maybe that's why he can't have it.
He can be dev wounded off the board pretty easily. He doesn't have a feel no pain for like 380-ish points or whatever.
385.
Yeah.
Currently.
I have some changes I would consider. If you were to like resurrect him, maybe he can take 2 of his Wrathful auras instead of 1. So you kind of like counterweight the lack of other blessings by having him be this sort of font of power for the army. Like, yes, Angron's back. Let's rally around him and go crazy. The Feel No Pain. Maybe add another pip of strength to his sweep so he can break that point. And maybe another point of AP to his strike so he can punch up into vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah. The other option is, I mean, he's fine. He's just very expensive for what you get. So even just a points cut might be enough in future to like balance him out.
Yeah, it's good that he's not like a default pick though. Like he will be strong.
Yeah.
Like mathematically very strong. It's just he's not as auto-include as maybe he once was, which is it's okay.
Again, internal balance in this codex, pretty good.
Yeah. Something that I do consider auto-include, Johnny. Khorne with a 20 brick.
Oh, man.
Khorne
with a 20 brick sounds terrifying to me.
He gives rerolls for who he leads. So why not max a bloody squad out and just murder ball through the map?
It really makes me almost want to be like, Land Raider 20 brick Khorne, roll up the middle of the board.
I don't think he fits in a 20 brick with a Land Raider. I think they have a 14 capacity.
Oh, are they that bad now, are they?
I don't know what they used to be, but yeah, it's not enough seats in the car for 21 berserkers.
There sure aren't. There is only 14 seats. I guess that means that he is always gonna be shooting his friends if you don't get in. That's sad.
But if you have 20 of them, what's losing one for like a round or two?
Yeah, I suppose.
It
and you
mitigates
might roll
it.
well on your leadership.
Yeah, 20 as a squad size mitigates the betrayer ability quite well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What's losing one guy if you get to do rerolls still?
But also, like, previously, the best way to deal with Khorne was to just shoot him off the table before he got to you. Having 10 extra bodies with 2 wounds each, that's a lot more bullets you need to get him off the table before he gets in.
Khorne had a fight on death before, right? Now he just gets back up?
It's on a 2+. But he does get up with only 3 wounds instead of all of his wounds, which was the previous.
Wasn't he a fight on death?
Oh, they have actually changed him. You can't shoot him off the table now. It was a fight on death. Now it's just he gets up even if he's shot.
Yeah, see?
Okay, so he's a little better. He's just straight up gas now.
He's straight up gas. Yeah, he's gassy.
There's your auto-include.
Told ya. You know who isn't quite an auto-include, despite me really wanting him to be?
Lord Avocado.
Lord Avocado. But hey, the Fire Riders live.
But I think he's still better than he used to be.
I think so. That his new ability to deep strike a whole big unit with, think of it like this, Johnny. This is my plan. Lord Invocatus, 20 brick, deep strike. Wait till like the 3rd round. Come in the back. He can charge through buildings, go through units, and then whoever doesn't make it in, oh, look at that. I've got my 6-inch pile-in blessing active. Whew.
Yeah, no, I think Avocado is much better than he was.
Yeah.
And also now he also just has a mortal wound bomb on the charge.
Spicy. Thanks, Kalgaroof.
Right. No, I think Lord Avocado is fine now, and a 4-up invuln save is nothing to scoff at.
Absolutely.
You can also, if you wanted to, you can pair him up with 8-bound.
True.
I don't know if you would.
Well, you would take the 8-bound in like a transport, like a Land Raider, to protect your point investment so that when they actually, connect, they're connecting at their full strength. So Lord Invocatus deep striking 8-bound is just an alternative to a Land Raider.
But Exalted already have deep strike.
True.
But a 20 blob of Khorne Berserkers deep striking in your backline is terrifying.
You won't be ready for it. Those poor Gretchen, or the Grots, or whatever they're called.
Whoever they have sitting on their backline is not going to be there for long.
Could you imagine the 2021 Khorne dudes just emerge on the fiery bridge and just bolt pistol all the Grots?
Yeah.
I like Juglord, though. If you don't want to do Invocatus more like slightly niche kit, I think Juglord is also fantastic. He just makes his unit have a 10-inch movement now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you're thinking, 8 inches, I can, space that out. Juglord's like, you calculated wrong. Charge!
I think the Lord on Juggernaut is very good.
Yeah, and the Crushal who stand before us is a really cool ability.
Yeah, being able to be like, I can have more dudes in this fight than you can.
As you say, techie, controlling, yeah.
I think the Lord on Juggernaut is a very cool decision that they made. Weird that he doesn't have rapid fire, though.
It is. He's probably too busy holding on to his mount to aim his gun.
His plasma pistol.
Moe. Disgustingly cheap, but still a really good assassin figure.
Much more niche role now. He used to be the auto-include of the Codex. Well, of the Index, sorry.
Of the game.
Man. Fights First is very good, in my opinion.
Can't put that on a 20 brick.
Especially in an army that is focused around melee. Knowing that you can charge into something and if you don't wipe them out, you will get to fight before they get a chance to again, is very strong. It also really hampers your opponent charging you, which sets you up to charge them. Which when we get to detachments, one of the detachments really wants you to charge.
Oh, you think so?
So losing that was a bit of a big deal. He did get a pretty significant points cut, almost in half, to consolidate for it. But now he allows them to re-roll advance rolls and blood surges.
The blood surges are a fantastic little piece of kit. It's really unique to the World Eaters, and making that more reliable is actually pretty good.
And then he has his typical gaining CP when he's killing characters, and very good at killing characters with his precision melee devastating wounds.
He's what, like 60 points, 65 points?
60 points.
You put 60 points in to guarantee more of a blood surge movement, and that is, people would command reroll that in some cases to make sure they actually get in. And now you just do that, and then he just precisions out a character, gets another CP. Like, huh?
You kind of think about him in the opposite way you think about some of the other characters. A lot of the World Eater characters buff their unit, but the Master of Executions is using his unit to do his job.
I really like the Master of Executions in a very particular detachment. We'll get to it.
Yep.
And I'll explain why I like it later. Do you want to talk about any other data sheets?
I was about to say, if we go through characters, there's only one left that isn't a demon. And it kind of is a demon.
Prince.
The Prince. Which is fine.
I think it's scary. For the points, I think Demon Prince on foot's very scary.
For 200 points, yeah.
Yeah. Dev wound charge.
Lone operative when it's near someone, dev wounds on the charge. And it has the reduction of CP for a stratagem. But instead of it just being his unit, because he obviously doesn't have a unit, it's anyone within 12.
Yeah, enough said. Just good.
Yeah, just real good. Really
just
good to just like run up with your battle line, with your front line. But in terms of data sheets, I think the only other one realistically worth talking about at this time is Berserkers. Because Berserkers have the biggest changes that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Index was 5 or 10 for 90 or 180 points. They had Blood Surge, and they're your regular troops. These are your very typical like Chaos Space Marines. They changed the way the icon of Khorne works. Now it gains you bloodshed points when you kill units, which allows you to roll extra blessings, so you can set yourself up for later turns. I think it's actually a pretty cool and unique way to do the icon. Now they are 10 or 20 models for 180 or 360 points. It's twice as many Zerkers for twice the cost.
And I don't hate it.
It makes for some scary combinations.
The 10 is still fine, though.
The 10 is fine. Like, 10 was fine back in the day. But the fact that you can run a 20, and you're probably only running 120 because it is 360 points.
Sure I am.
Plus whoever's leading them, which, if it's a 100-point model or a 110-point model, you're looking at almost a quarter of your army there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do like them.
yeah, there's not much to say other than these guys are your auto includes now.
Yeah. I do have some notes for some other data sheets if you want me to rapid fire them.
Yeah, go for it. We've got time.
We got all the time we want. Terminators, I think they're spicy. You know, they have their rapid fire like 4 on their storm bolters, and they have reroll hits and charges on whoever's close to them. And they're Terminators, so they're pretty tanky. That's a little spooky. You probably won't expect all those shots and rerolling charges. Spawns, the Chaos Spawn, I think they're actually very fast and, you know, actually a little bit threatening. So say you're fighting World Eaters and you got Goremongers off doing some actions, all of a sudden, beep, beep, here comes the Chaos Spawn to interrupt you. That's spicy.
Yeah, I think the Chaos Spawn are very good now.
I think so.
And cheap too.
Yeah, I think with things like the Hellbrutes, you're not going to want to take them with actually like a las cannon anymore just because the reduction in the ballistic skill. But if you take like a plasma cannon, you know, and it's got that reactive fire and reactive melee, stick some Hellbrutes in key choke points and your opponents are going to be like just frustrated.
Yeah, I kind of almost want to be like, is this where you start to use like twin heavy bolters and stuff like that just to try and get as many shots down range as possible with that reactive shoot?
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Soul Shatter las cannons on a Land Raider? 8 las cannon shots, Johnny?
That sounds spicy.
Because you're taking 2 of them, one
Yeah.
on each side of the tank, and you get rapid fire for each of them. So that's 8 las cannon shots.
And the biggest problem I have with las cannons is you always get one shot. And when it's a 50% chance to hit, you're starting to get into casino territory. Whereas when there's 8, you're probably getting 4 of them through.
Yeah, I played a game where I teamed up with our World Eaters player. He's playing the new Codex, and he had a Hellbrute with las cannon. Previous edition, pretty spicy. I don't think I saw him do anything with that las cannon. Like it never connected because it's so swingy. But if you have them on a Land Raider... Lastly, though, I think Defilers are actually pretty wicked. They have a really good like reactive play in their data sheet. A bit of a trapdoor spider of a unit, I think. You're probably thinking Defilers? What the hell?
I was going to say, I don't even think I looked at the Defiler sheet.
Look at the ability on the Defiler and tell me that's not fun. Oh, wait.
I mean, you just don't deep strike near it, right?
You don't, but you sort of march that thing up the board and it can reactive fire or it can reactive charge into something, and the amount of weapons it actually has is decent.
It's only when something's set up in the battlefield, so it's only if something comes in from near it from outside of the game.
But Johnny, you set things up when they leave a transport too.
Oh, okay.
Now do you see what I mean?
You just chase their transports around the map.
You chase the transport.
10-inch move. You chase the Rhino? Actually, that's kind of hilarious.
If you're fighting like Eldari, who rely on their transports to get their aspect warriors in the thing, 5 fire dragons like 130 points. If you have a Defiler nearby and they're like, I'm going to get out of my Falcon to shoot the Defiler, the Defiler's like, anyway, I've charged you.
Now you can't shoot me.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can. It's a vehicle, so...
Yeah, but like on principle, that's very fun.
Oh, yeah, no, that's kind of cool, actually. I didn't even think about the transport thing.
Yeah. It took me a bit to wrap my head around that. I was like, there's got to be something to this. I was like, wait a minute. Transports? Yeah. Anyway, shall we go on to detachments now, Johnny?
Yeah.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which one do you want to start with?
We start with the first one.
Is it Berserker?
Yeah, because that's the index one.
Okay.
This is very similar to what it used to be. You still have a buff when you charge, so you get in, you charge your opponent, and you just take them out. This is your very stock standard sort of vibe. It is very Berserker focused, which, as we said, Berserkers are good, so good to have a focus.
I like this. Detachment. It's essentially bringing back that lethality from the index that people are moping has gone away, but no, it's right here. It's in this detachment. And then you let the other detachments have their own flavor of offensive capability.
For sure.
If you want that overwhelming charge playstyle, here it is. And the enhancements and the strats are great. My 2 standouts is probably one of the stratagems that offers a 3rd blessing and giving Blood Surge 8 inches instead of 6.
I also want to point out this detachment is focused around berserkers who did also get the baked-in movement buff. So you used to have to spend one of your blessings to get the movement, and they just already have it baked in. Just something to keep in mind when you're looking at this. So when you can get that extra blessing, that's like having 4 blessings going.
And then if you look at the enhancements, you got one that gives a character more damage dealt. You could have one that's less damage received, like on a Demon Prince, if you want to keep him alive. One allows you to reroll blessings for the turn. Another is extra charging capabilities. The strats is like if you die on a point, you can sticky that objective with the death of your unit. An extra AP on the charge, the third blessing, advance in charge, blood surge 8, -1 damage. Like, this is...
Yeah, this detachment is fine. Yeah, this is what people wanted from the index, and it is the index, you know? Like,
it's right there.
She still exists, and she still does what she wants to do.
She's right there.
That'll bring us down to the next one in my list, which is the Cult.
I like this one a lot. I like it a lot. It's fun.
Spoiler alert, my test list is this detachment.
Hey, there you go. I didn't even have to ask you to do a test list. You just did it. I love you so much.
This was the detachment I chose. When I read through them, I was like, I kind of dig the vibe.
So fun.
This focus around Titanic and monsters, while your army doesn't have a lot of options. You don't need a lot of options. It's designed to be 1 or 2 centerpiece models with a bunch of cultists running around doing things.
Yeah.
And its detachment rule is the Idols of Khorne. So at the start of your command phase, you select one of the abilities below, and they are active and apply to all World Eater's Titanic and monster units. You can only have one. You can only select each once per battle. So it's very similar to the Doctrines.
Yep.
It's like, please confirm that that's what they were called. Where you kind of have a couple of options and you can do them once per game, and you can only do one of them at a time. This also gives Jackals and Goremongers the battle line keywords, so you can run lots and lots of them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Your cultists get the buff from being near the idols, or does it just empower the idols?
So your idols now have an aura that affects your cultists.
To take a lot of them.
So you kind of run your army in like little groups. You'll have like one figure with some dudes running around it. And it's within 6 inches of an idol, or 9 inches if they're Titanic, which they have one option for Titanic.
I wonder what it is.
The Khorne Lord of
Kaiten.
Skulls. So, at least without going into legends and further data sheets, there is one option.
I'm just joshing.
And these give you +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which means that now your Jackals are hitting on 3s instead of 4s, and wounding on like 3 to 4 instead of 4 to 5. You can also have a +1 to movement and +1 to advance and charge. And then you also get a 4-up invuln save for a turn on all of your Jackals and Goremongers that are near an idol, which I think is super cool.
Jackals are toughness 4 now. They're basically a marine.
Yeah, right? Then for enhancements, you get one that adds 3 to the aura range for one of your big guys. One that allows you to equip an infantry model as a leader for Jackals and Goremongers.
That's
and
my Moe.
if they're attached to Goremongers, they can have Infiltrator.
Yep.
One is +1 to toughness and a Feel No Pain 5 on a monster. So Demon Prince.
Yep.
And the other one is a redeploy shenanigan for your Jackals and Goremongers, which Goremongers do have Infiltrate, so you can lock your opponent out of Infiltrate and then redeploy them if you wish.
It's very fun. I love that a lot.
Like, it's a super cool little detachment.
Even the strats are fun. You got what I call vengeance rerolls. Like, oh, you killed my friend.
Now I get to reroll hit rolls.
Really good Feel No Pain if you're near the idols. What I'm calling Wide Fight, which is this, World Eaters like extra pile-in stuff, or like that kind of thing. I call it Wide Fight. Reroll hits always good. Jackal reinforcements, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It looks like a blast. And you're going to be running around with a bunch of cultists who hit on 4s and aren't exactly the strongest. But you also just get like a couple of key units to help support them.
Yeah, if you lock in your synergy, these cultists, more so the jackals, they're going to become like berserker level aggression or even Terminator level tanky simply because you're near these buff pieces. And like Lord of Skulls and Demon Princes are beat sticks in their own right.
Yeah.
And like the Lord of Skulls actually like moves pretty well now. I think it's got more movement and it can, it's got the Titanic, it can go through buildings, right?
It is a 12-inch movement.
That's good.
But Titanic does not allow you to go through buildings.
Oh, that's towering, isn't it?
A super heavy walker that does that. So no, your Lord of Skulls will have to get around the old-fashioned way.
Oh, well. But it's still a very fun army.
A very fun little detachment. And that will take us to Demonkin.
Oh, so contentious between you and me, this style of play, isn't it, mate?
Contentious?
The whole, like, demons delegated to half the roster in one detachment.
I think out of all the demon detachments, this is one of the more, like, better ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fun. I like, for what it is, I
don't mind
like
this
it.
one, but it feels super late game.
Yeah, I like all the detachments they've been putting out for the demons. I just think having them be in one detachment's problematic.
Yes. I would have liked, personally, and I have mentioned this before, if they had stuck to the original reinforcements that you could do, being a quarter of your army strength, but then have it be double in this detachment as it is. So,
good.
Just allowing people to run the demons to supplement what they're missing from their smaller codexes.
Yes, Johnny, yes.
But without going into the negatives, Blood Tithe is cool. It's very thematic, but I feel like it's too little too late.
And if you're versing an army with less units, like a Night Force or something like that, or an army which is real tricky, like maybe they start with a lot of their like units off the board or redeployed away from you.
It's very hard to set up.
It's a losing battle.
And also, it's not guaranteed. You have to destroy a unit, then roll a d6, and get a 3-up to get 1 point.
And the actual, like, aura in the detachment is a little limited. You need to actually keep your World Eaters and your demons nearby each other. Like, you're going to need to kill quickly. So you're going to need to maybe focus on a little bit of, like, keeping a CP in your pocket for one of those strats that gives you, like, a little points package.
Well, the key thing is, like, with this, you get 4 options you can choose from, and only one of them actually affects your World Eaters. The rest are all just the demons.
Yeah.
And the one that affects the World Eaters is the one you care about the least.
Oh.
That's your 2 blood points. Your Blood Legion and World Eaters models now have a Feel No Pain 5 against psychic attacks and mortal wounds. Not bad.
Good. It's good.
It's fine.
You want Might of Khorne, though.
You want Might of Khorne and the Boon of Blood.
Is the Boon of Blood the invuln?
That's your 4-up invuln save.
Yeah.
Might of Khorne is now your demons finally actually have Blessings of Khorne. But you have to kill 5 units and pray you didn't fail a Blood Tithe roll.
If you were being just that as it is, right? Like there's an enhancement that gives your character like a Blood Tithe point on death. Hello, sisters.
Yeah. There's a couple of other ways to get Blood Tithes in your stratagem. I think in stratagems as well.
There's a stratagem that's like it might be a once per battle points package wrapped in a neat little skull.
Yes.
Once per game. Ugh. Is it once per game?
No. It's just more. There's just some more restrictions around how often it can happen.
I don't have my data sheets open just from my desktop setup, so I wasn't too sure.
Yeah. So the enhancements are you can give a World Eaters model a 2-up save, and if it's destroyed, you gain 1 Blood Tithe point. That is a 20-point enhancement.
Mm-hmm.
1 is Icon of War, which kind of feels like an auto-include. That is the one that gives a World Eater model an aura that gives your Blood Legions the Blessings of Khorne early. And if you do unlock the Might of Khorne, it doesn't become obsolete. It gives them a reroll battle shock tests instead.
Yep. Love phase 2 abilities. Good stuff.
1 is Disciple of Khorne, which just lets your Lord on Juggernaut
it's good.
lead Blood Crushers and Fleshhounds.
So fun.
the fact that Fleshhounds can bounce up and down and take a lord with them is terrifying.
You could like kit bash like Karanak to be like this Lord Juggernaut like character instead of like a possessed Soulbound.
A dude on Karanak.
Yeah, you could either do it that way where a dude's riding Karanak, maybe like a cultist or something, you know, for the sizing.
Yep.
Or you could do like a alternative possessed Lord Juggernaut, but it's like part Fleshhound instead of like Slaughter Bounty.
Yep.
Anyway.
And then your last one is just a better melee profile for a world
Super
leader.
Sword.
But this one is the one that means you don't have to roll for Blood Tides, you just automatically get it. If that one dude kills the dude. Like, it's fine.
There's stuff.
Yeah, there's ways to get around it. And then, yes, one of the stratagems is a Worthy Skull, which is just after a Blood Legion or World Eater unit has fought, and one or more enemy characters or monster models were destroyed. You can use this 1 CP stratagem to get D3 Battle Tide points, and you can get an instant speed access to activating one, instead of waiting till next turn.
Which is really cool to like flip the script mid-turn.
Yeah, you know, you charge into someone, you kill them, you get enough tithe points to put you up to getting that like 4-up invuln so that when they crack back, it's so much harder.
Ah, you thought you would screen out my blood letters? Well, here's the thing. They sustain lethal now.
Yeah, so the actual... Out of the 4 demon detachments that we got in cults, I think this is the best one. And I think that, for me, is partially because you don't need to have every single Blood Legion unit paired with a World Eaters unit. Like, you don't need them to travel together.
No.
Everyone is kind of getting stuff.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the very specific rapid ingress stratagem, as I call it, where if you kill something or something of yours dies, like as soon as a unit dies, right? It doesn't have to be yours. Here come the demons.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
That will take us to the next attachment, the Possessed Slaughter Band.
Forgot about that one.
So, you like 8-bound?
Do I? Do I like 8-bound?
I don't know, do you? Do you like 8-bound? If you do, guess what? You have a rule.
Possess Blood Surge.
It's literally just Possess Blood Surge. If
But
you want to
only if
run
someone
all of the
dies.
8-bounds, and you're okay with losing models
No, I'm not, Johnny.
from your elite infantry,
You're
you
not.
you can get Blood Surge.
And it's only D6 movement. It's not even guaranteed. What is this detachment?
A disappointment.
You'll do 3 big bricks with each a slaughter bound, because if you're going to be losing a model, you may as well be losing the unit, potentially, in how lethal this game is. So you want the big units, but even like D6 movement? It's like, oh, you killed one, let me just move, oh, look, an inch.
Yep.
What?
And then they can only do that once per turn, yeah.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. Strats are okay.
There is one thing I have to say I like about this detachment, and that is one of the enhancements.
Which one?
Violent Demise. You can give one of your demons a deadly demise on a 2.
Yes, that is fun. I did put a note. Hilariously cheap, DD.
I'm a big fan of guaranteed deadly demises, because it's hilarious the shit that can happen in a game because of deadly demise.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when your opponent isn't ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this detachment, a little subpar, a little less interesting in my opinion.
There's like a 2 CP harder to wound stratagem, which is fine. +1 damage on certain target stratagem is actually very good. There's an exalted 8-bound close deep strike, but you can't effing charge afterwards? What?
Which is, that's very much 10th edition at this point.
There's a -1 battle shock in engagement, but no consequence besides just simply being battle shocked. And then there's a 2 CP guaranteed fight on death, which, I mean, great. Not only did I lose my ginormous point cost unit, but now I'm spending 2 CP to make sure they get to fight you still.
Yes.
Like, they're meant to be tanky to begin with. Why are we using a 2 CP strat to make them actually deliver their package. I don't know. This one's out for me.
Yes, which leaves us with one more detachment for these guys.
Good one, though.
We will not be talking about the Vessels of Wrath because that's old news.
Old news. Just run Terminators.
But Goretrack Onslaught is fun.
Spicy.
This is the transport detachment.
Hello, Gladiator Cadra 331. How are you?
This is we get out and charge you. Add one to charge and getting lance.
And not only that, but a lot of the stratagems and some of the enhancements play around with getting in and out and doing stuff around transports that isn't really part of the core rules. So this is very, very interesting.
I really like this. It is fun to be able to protect your dudes, do what they need to do, and then get back in and hide. One of their enhancements is you can't overwatch me when I get out, which I think is very good.
Yeah. Hop in, go get the Infernus Marines, and then push up afterwards.
Yeah, another one is, I'm in a transport. Well, it gets a Scout 9.
Very good.
So now suddenly your your rhinos are getting up the board. It has to be dedicated transport, so rhinos.
Unleash Hell's quite fun too.
Unleash Hell is very fun. Being able to suppressive fire.
Really good into like Knights or Dread Mob or any of those more expensive units.
Yeah, and I do like that it's a World Eater's character on a vehicle nearby, so you can get out, get the suppressive fire, and then charge.
But it's all going to be Mo. It's all Master of Executions, because there's no generic Lord.
Well, this is just World Eater's models, so it could be your Slaughterbounds.
I mean, is it?
I guess not really, right?
Is it?
Only
fine.
if they're in a Land Raider.
They're fine. You might take a unit of them for this detachment and like use them as like a missile for key targets. Like that's their purpose. They're okay.
And look at that. For an extra 25 points, your Mo can have fights first again, but just once.
The just once is for 25 points, just once?
Just once.
I mean, if they're zipping around the board out of sequence in their taxi,
you just use it when they need it, right?
It's probably a good decision.
And yeah, you're probably grabbing that. You're probably grabbing like aggressive deployment to have that scout, and then the rest is whichever one you choose otherwise is situational depending on what you're trying to do, right?
I will say though that some of the strats in this, like disembarking into engagement, for example, or reactive disembark and blood surging, like those are really good. But for people who aren't quite aware of sequencing, might be caught off guard because your detachment rule is like +1 charge lance, right? If you're already in engagement range, like if you've moved into it outside of charge, you're not going to get that buff.
Exactly, yes.
So you got to be very careful.
This is the detachment that you play if you're very good at the game and know what you're doing, because it will reward the player that knows what they're doing more than any of the others.
Or you're the guy with 5 rhinos. Yeah,
might know someone like that.
But if you can like lock down what this is, you've mastered what the potential of this codex is, which is that manipulation of the board.
Yeah and it really goes to show just how differently but not worse this codex plays now that we have a codex for it.
I am quite impressed on the codex for that reason.
Yeah.
You can make Slaughterbound work, maybe with some point adjustments, but overall, all of these are very promising.
Oh, yeah. Internal balance is great.
Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding Goretrack Onslaught? I kind of pivoted us there.
No, that's about it. Like, without going too much in depth, like this is the detachment that works the best if you know what you're doing. If you're still learning the army, I would probably tell you to avoid this one at first.
Yep. Just do Berserker Warband.
I was going to say, go play with Warband first, because this feels like Warband, but slightly more complicated.
It's got a similar punch-up, but more nuance, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Goretrack's really cool.
Goretrack is cool. I think when we get to the lists and talk a little bit about that, I think the Cult of Blood, I went for a very simple way of doing it, but I think it's actually kind of silly.
I'm excited.
But that kind of just leaves us with Crusade now, if we want to touch on a little bit of what it can do without going too in-depth.
Yeah, I did put notes down for Crusade because it's, part of the Codex. Sure.
Yeah. Well, why don't you talk us through your notes on Crusade?
My, too long don't read notes for Crusade, and then we can pull it apart and talk into specific stuff if you want.
Yeah.
I think that the actual Crusade rule of skulls, you kill units in melee, you get skulls. Your units can then, between games, do like a bit of a challenge, if you will. You roll a dice, modifying the result based on how many skulls they've had by killing units. You can then cash those in for upgrades. That's kind of it. I think it's a very nice and straightforward, if maybe a little lacking in specifics, to other more layered Crusade rules, such as the Emperor's Children getting drugs, or later on we'll find out about Death Guard's poisons. What World Eaters do have, because of this, is a very meaty snowball that will get very strong and scary easily as lore portrays them, because so long as they're killing, they're getting buffed. There's not a lot of secret agendas to meet. A lot of the buffs will turn the Astartes into just the absolute freightiest of trains, and they will have some fun stuff to buff nearby units as well. This is where I think a lot of the issues I'm having with the units comes about, which is a lack of generic HQ options, both in World Eaters Lords, but also cultist leader options, like a cult firebrand. But alas, the agendas and the requisitions are some of my favorites I've seen. A lot of, killing in separate table quarters, and you can actually, between games, have your units, fight each other to take skulls away from one another. That's pretty fun. Pretty fun. But my favorite thing, and this is what I want to rack your brain on, Jonny, is the greater rewards, new blessings that you can put into your army. Did you see these? Did you know about these?
Greater rewards. Isn't that just for their thingies?
Yeah, so you got skulls, right? You can cash them in. If you have a really good result on the skulls challenge, you offer it to Khorne, you roll a dice. If you have a really high result, you can get greater rewards. These become, so long as the character is on the battlefield, when you're rolling for your blessings of Khorne, the actual greater reward the character has, let's say Master of Executions has one of them, and then you activate blessings, one of the options you can take is whatever greater rewards your characters have, brought with them, such as a mortal wound bombing on the charge,
Nice.
+2 movement, oh hello. +1 AP and melee, which is very, very good when your base Berserker Brick's doing nearly 60 attacks before buffs.
Yeah, yep.
What do you think?
I think that's super cool. I really like the way that the reward system works. And it still has that, blessings of Khorne kind of Yahtzee luck a little bit.
Yeah. To me, it's like a B-side of the album. You've had your fun with your comp play. Now your casual play's got more options.
And you know how I feel about gambling.
I do. It's concerning.
Only when it's not my actual money. I don't gamble in real life because I can't afford that.
Yep.
But in games, I will gamble every point away, every health point away. I will kill possessed to buff my guy every day of the week.
Always be hazardous, you say?
I think this Crusade rule it's fun. It's very simple, it's very Khorne, and it's very fun. As you said, it is a bit of a snowball force. If you're not destroying units very successfully, you're gonna fall behind. But the opposite is also true. If you go up against the right situation, maybe your first match or two are against Horde armies and you just go ham, you're gonna find yourself in a very good position for the next couple of games.
Yeah, even just the generic traits that units can have are insane. The infantry monster table can make the 20 brick berserkers insane. Peerless fighters to reroll once of hits. You don't need Khorne anymore. All wounds if they charge. Slayer of Champions grants precision. Red Haze grants a feel no pain 5+ on damage 1 attacks. Mindless Onslaught, fallback charge and shoot. Excuse me. What?
Yeah, right? Yeah, cool stuff. And Gorefather came back, and he's better than ever.
I think the Destroyer's better, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, at least they made Gorefather good again.
Oh, yes. Doesn't work with Master of Executions that well, though, because Master of Executions already has Dev Wounds, but Juglord, drive-by bomb car.
Yeah, right. I will say there is one gripe I have, and it's not with this specific Crusade rules, it's with the rulings they decided to make moving forward.
Is it the demons?
Another nerf to demons.
I knew it was going to be demons.
It has to be mentioned.
Yeah, sure does.
Blood Legions and all of the demon kin that you get in the different cult detachments do not gain experience or battle honors.
I mean, you could hand wave it in your own games, but as written, yeah, ouch.
This means that they are really pushing demons out of the armies while trying to keep them in. It's a very weird series of decisions they made. Demons count as summoned units in terms of what they've done in the past, so they do not get experience. They do not count as part of your army, but they still count towards your points totals. So they really push you to not use the demons, especially in Crusade.
But I wanna.
But I want to is correct.
As I said, you can just hand wave whatever you want in your own casual games. Of course. Not everyone's going to think like that or wants to bother with it, but if it really bothers you like it does us, we tell our World Eater mate all the time, don't worry, just do it.
Yeah, just have fun. If that's what's going to allow you to have fun in the game, do it.
Do it. Anything else you want to say about the Crusade stuff?
Is there anything else to say about the Crusade?
Without going into all the specific, what does what? No, not really.
No, not really. I don't want to dive too in-depth into Crusade, because I want people to have the chance to work it out for themselves if that's what they want to do, or, something like that.
Be excited when you roll on the table and be like, oh, that's what I can do now.
If you ever wanted to play demons in Crusade, it's now harder than ever, because you don't have Crusade rules, full stop.
Yeah. Are you ready for a new segment, Jonny?
New segment? Ooh.
What's your list? What's your list at? What's your list at?
Oh, yeah. So, for all these cult detachments, we want to talk about, a quick list that we might have thrown around that's something we might want to actually play as part of this army. Having read all the rules, obviously we're going to find things that we want to do and things that appeal to us, even if we aren't going to invest thousands of dollars into a new army.
Yeah, just have fun.
As I said, I chose the Cult of Blood detachment.
Whoa.
What did you choose as your detachment? I'm curious.
I chose Berserker Warband, mainly for my homeboy Lord Invocatus, but I also did put together a Cult of Blood for funsies. That's right.
I appreciate it.
I did too. That's right. But I want to hear you. Boo.
Well, me doing what me does.
Cultist.
I started with the Khorne Lord of Skulls.
Hell yeah.
I had to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool model. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. The detachment was built around it. And then I was like, okay, how do I get some bang for my buck? So I chucked in 3 Demon Princes of Khorne.
Yes.
One with the Chosen of the Blood God detachment to give it a bigger aura.
Good idea.
Yeah. The Demon Prince of Khorne on foot is very good. And now I can throw them around the board and maximize what my Jackals and Goremongers are getting. I chose to run 2 squads of Goremongers and 2 squads of Jackals.
Okay.
Only because I'm 5 points off one of those Jackals being Goremongers as well. So the choice is you either cut one of your enhancements to upgrade one of the Jackals and just have 1 Jackals and 3 Goremongers. But then to round out the list, I chose 3 Demon Princes with wings.
Hey.
One with the Brazen Form to give it the extra toughness and a feel no pain, and that is my Warlord.
Yep.
So my whole list is 6 Demon Princes and a Khorne Lord of Skulls running around.
I wasn't doing the math. 6 Demon Princes.
With Jackals and Goremongers running around between them.
Very cool little pinball machine of cultists there.
I just wanted to go ham with Demon Princes, because when you're looking through their base codex at things that have the Titanic and Monster keyword that aren't Angron, they're your options. I maxed out all of the options.
Yep.
Besides the 505 points that is a Khorne Lord of Skulls. If you were playing this more seriously, you probably cut the Lord of Skulls and add in as many cultists as you can fit in for that extra 500 points. But that's my list. For my cult is the Cult of the Demon Princes.
What is that about?
So that was what I decided to run. Very simple, very effective. And I just think it'd be a lot of fun. But would I ever buy or build 6 Demon Princes? No.
For me, it was, would I buy, build, and paint 60 jackals? No.
You've seen how many cultists I have.
Yeah, but like specifically jackals? And
yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
No, not a chance. I'd rather do the 6 Demon Princes than 6 units of jackals. But yes, that's it. That's my list. What do you got for me, Joshy?
Cult of Blood. I think yours has a bit more of an aggressive footprint. My Cult of Blood, I went for maybe a little more of a balance between the options, with a little bit more on what I think will be fun. 2 Lord of Skulls, each with skull hurlers and demon gore cannons for those like tougher targets.
2 Lord of Skulls. That's half your list already.
Yeah. 2 Lord of Skulls, 10 points.
But yeah, Skull Hurler and Gorestorm Cannon seems like the better way to go.
I went with Demon Gore.
Oh, Demon Gore Cannon.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways.
Anyway. I did a foot Demon Prince of Khorne with the Brazen Form as well as the Tough Warlord. Makes sense.
Yep.
I got the Demon Prince of Khorne with wings with Strategic Slaughter enhancement.
Oh, okay, yep. Yep. To have the redeploy shenanigans.
Yep. And I went with a Master of Executions with the Butcher Lord to go with the Goremongers to go straight for the enemy Warlord.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And 2 times 20 blobs of Jackals to sort of pivot around the Lord of Skulls and run interference and be just these little bloody mobs. And then 2 lots of 10 blob Jackals as my objective monkeys at home.
You went deep on the cultists.
My thought process was have these be like more of a kit bashing project. You might buy a box or 2 of Jackals for the pieces, but actually save yourself some money by buying Necromunda gangs like Orlocks and Cawdors, especially who have more of a melee focused kit, or at least they look like they do. And you end up with like a relatively unique hodgepodge of cultists.
You could also, I don't know if the base sizes match up, but you could potentially look at Age of Sigmar as well for options.
You could do that too. Sort of do one of those like 2 armies at once projects.
Yeah, but just because they have a lot of cultist looking dudes in the Blades of Khorne, they might be a different base size, so it might not work. I know that Age of Sigmar tends to run with slightly larger base sizes for their generic.
Did you see the new Blades of Khorne character they announced, the Deathbringer?
Yes, I did.
Great Mo proxy for this force.
Oh yeah.
Has an axe. But that's what I had for Cult of Blood though, but that's not my actual list.
Yeah, okay, alright. So what's your actual list? Your Berserker Warband?
Well, it obviously started with me favourite guy, Lord Invocatus, and his 20 brick of Khorne Berserkers. But Far out, dude. But they'll be starting off the board. Who's on the board? Khan the Betrayer and his blob of 20 Berserkers.
That sounds like you're already well past half your list.
No. It's tapping in
that's like
about
900 points worth of dudes.
No.
Not quite?
That's that plus. It's only 915, Johnny. Come on.
I just said 900 points worth of dudes.
Sure is, but
you
it's
have
fun.
2 units at half your list.
Yeah, it's quite fun, isn't it?
It's terrifying.
And who else is in the list? Demon Prince of Khorne with the Berserker Glaive to just be an absolute menace with the higher strength, damage, whatever.
Yep.
So when you go into the charge, there's a good chance you get a couple of damage 4 dev wounds through.
Damage 4 dev wounds is scary.
I was inspired by that because someone on Reddit was telling them about how their Bobby G just straight up died because he had 3 dev wounds go into him from a Demon Prince of Khorne with Berserker Glaive. Yucky. I got some action pieces, Goremongers, Jackals, and one squad of Chaos Spawn. So 3 very different style action monkeys. The Chaos Spawn to go hunt down other action monkeys, Jackals to sticky, behind Khorne's big blob, and then the Goremongers for that infiltration blocking.
Yeah, yep.
I got a Defiler as the personal bodyguard of Khorne the Betrayer, being blocked by transport speed bumps.
I do like the idea of the Defiler chasing down transports.
And then I took 3 Forge Fiends, completely kitted out with ectoplasma cannons.
So you can actually shoot things.
3 Forge Fiends with 3 each ectoplasma cannons with each rapid fire. You stick 1 in each third of the battlefield and then just march them up slowly. Not much is surviving.
Yeah, Forge Fiends are pretty good in this codex.
Or you just Death Star. You just go up the middle, as old Solomon Demina would say.
Hey, wrong army.
Whoops. But that's me Berserker Warband list. That's probably what I would have the most fun with. Just a couple of blobs of insane Berserker fury. You got Khorne leading this sort of charge, babysat by a Defiler. Your opponent's going to be like, what the crap? And not even worry about your action monkeys. You got 3 Forge Fiends blasting with like strength 10, I think, guns. Anything that actually is a little intimidating. And then just as your opponent starts to deal with your foot sloggers, here comes Lord Invocatus with another 20 blob, and it's Warband. So you're going to have like strength 6 weapons.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. Bonus segment. Any idea how you would like paint or, kit bash a World Eaters force?
If I was going to paint a World Eaters force, I would want it to be very different to the 2 ways that you ever see World Eaters players paint their models.
What do you mean?
They're not the most unique people, are they? No, jokes, I shouldn't. Most of the time, people who play Khorne are going for a very thematic approach, which means they approach the game in 1 or 2 ways. They either do red and bronze, because that is pretty standardly the color that World Eaters are, or they go white with blue, because they're from the old times. I would want to mix it up a little bit. I would probably go with... Honestly, I was thinking like a camo sort of effect for them.
Oh, yeah.
Turning them into these like grungy guerrilla warfare style people, and then just like splattering them with different colored blood as just being like gross people that are just like losing the plot a little bit and just like painting themselves in whoever they've killed.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like that's kind of the vibe I had for a potential army, is like the camo-ish of like a good staging army that just like charges out of the bush at you unexpectedly and then just completely loses control of themselves a little bit in the fury. That's kind of the vibe I had.
I like that a lot.
What about you? What are you thinking for a paint scheme / theme for your World Eaters?
So I was thinking of my paint scheme, which immediately gave me just a very brief homebrew idea for a warband. But my color scheme would be a very like smoky grayish black force, except when you're actually putting the army together, carving like relatively deep grooves through the armor with like a hobby knife or a file or something. And then when you actually paint them, add in like this sort of bubbling molten gold through the line work as like a Japanese kintsugi, as the sort of power of Khorne is sort of like stitching this armor back together.
That's pretty cool. I kind of dig it.
I recently watched the Loki series on Disney Plus, and the like Citadel at the End of Time had that effect, and I thought it was really cool.
Yep.
Just like this idea that what lasted the longest was this like obsidian black rock being knitted together with like gold. Yeah. And my little homebrew lore for them would be calling them the Twilight Torment. And they love to use like Helldrakes and other like artillery pieces that actually bombard the opposition. For whatever reason, their munitions have this weird ashy smog effect. So the longer it goes on, the more the sky's actually like blotted out and you don't see very well. And then from the shadows comes this sort of like slightly more sort of subtle aspect of Khorne, which is just, an absolute onslaught of melee still. But from the shadows comes these sort of champions, if you will, of various world eaters that have fallen in battle, and they come out of the shadows as these glowing gold veins of smoke and just hack and slash.
I dig it. I dig it, my friend.
Thank you, mate. Something a little bit different again, like as you said, didn't want the red, didn't want the white. I'm like, well, world eaters are always fighting each other. I was actually inspired by the Crusade, where a couple of the requisitions pits your units against each other to take the skulls from one another. And I was like, man, they're going to fuck each other up. How would they repair their armor?
Maybe this is a Khorne warband that is exceptionally good at infiltrating and taking the skulls of other Khorne warbands.
Maybe. That's all. That's the second bit of the lore. Thanks, Johnny.
All right, well, I think that'll just about do it for this episode, eh?
Chunky Monkey, we did it.
One more Codex down.
Not calling you the Chunky Monkey, I'm calling this recording time Chunky Monkey.
Oh, you'll be fine.
This won't come out anytime soon.
Yeah, you've got a couple of days. You'll be fine.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Any closing remarks, my friend, on the World Eaters?
The usual. Go follow us on Instagram. Keep listening. Keep hobbying. Enjoy your stuff.
Oh, tell your friends.
Parade is coming up.
Tell your friends about the pod. Tell your friends. Leave them reviews on your platform of choice. I'm seeing some Spotify reviews come on in. That's great. Thank you very much. Tell your friends. Share it around.
And also remember, read the book. Goes for both my co-host and the audience. Read the book. Angel Exterminatus. We will have that out at probably after the Codex reveals for these ones. So you've still got a couple more weeks. Don't stress.
Or do, if that helps you.
I mean, if that's what you need to get it done, right? We will get through these Cult Chaos factions and the couple of others that have come out in very recent history, and then we will do the next book club episode. And then we will let you know what the next one is. Spoiler alert, it's also good.
I mean, we've kind of mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. But, enjoy your life, my friends. Have a good hobby. Been real.
See you next time.
Kill, maim, burn you later. Ah.